Alrighty, so let's go ahead and zoom in here and let's create a new file for our rectangle. Alright, so let me kind of clean up my windows here for a second. Give me 1 second here. Close that off. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and define our rectangle class. So I'm going to copy paste some stuff from one of my other files. I'll copy paste from circle. I'll move to rectangle. I'll do a paste and I'll simply change the class name. So instead of circle, it's rectangle. So I'm in rectangle TS. I just did a little copy paste from circle over to rectangle. So now what I'll actually do is define my properties for width and length. And then I'll go through the normal drill of generating the get and set accessors. And I'll just kind of space things out a bit between those methods. I'll actually move down to line 15 and I'll cut that private property for length, move up, and then paste it at the top. I just like to keep my properties close together and my accessors near the bottom. And then I'll move in here and I'll define my constructor. So I'll have two regular parameters coming in for the X and the Y. And then I'll also define those private properties here for width and length. So a little cut paste exercise here. And I'll just do a little cleanup here at the top. Okay, great. So the first line there, those are the regular parameters, the X and the Y. And then width and length, those are the parameter properties. Okay, that looks good. So now I'll simply make a call here to my superclass constructor, and I pass in the X and the Y. Okay, great. So our rectangle class looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and move down here to the bottom. And what I want to do is actually override the getInfo. So I'll just kind of copy the version of getInfo from circle class. And I'll paste it here into rectangle. There's some other ways we can do this, but for right now, I'm just doing it the manual way. I'll show you some automated ways to do this in some of the future videos. But anyways, we have getInfo and rectangle class, and we have super.getInfo, calling the superclass method. And then we simply override it and we add our width and our length. Alrighty, so that's the getInfo method here for our rectangle class. Okay, so let's swing back over to our driver and let's add support here for our rectangle class. So we simply create a new instance of rectangle. So we pass in the X, Y, and the width, comma, the length. And it's giving me an error saying, can't find rectangle. Oh, okay. I need to simply do an import up top. So we just do a rectangle from rectangle. And again, in some later videos, I'll show you some additional tricks on how to make this process a little easier. But for now, we'll just kind of do it manually. And then finally, console.log, and I say my rectangle.getInfo. Okay, so just move into my terminal window here. Just make sure I'm in the correct directory here for 05 inheritance. I just compile the code and then I run the code. So I run that driver.js. And then there's our output. So the first line is for my shape and then my circle and then my rectangle. All right, this looks great. So we set up an inheritance example here using TypeScript. I like to say, good job.